What makes a rivalry truly legendary? Is it the trophies, the world records, the moments of pure athletic brilliance? Or is it something deeper, something that transcends sport itself, something that becomes bigger than the game? For over 15 years, badminton wasn't just a sport. It was a stage. A theater where two men wrote a story so compelling, so perfectly balanced between agony and ecstasy, that it captivated not just badminton fans, but sports lovers around the world. This wasn't just about shuttlecocks and court lines. This was about national pride, personal destiny, and what happens when two perfect opposites are destined to define each other's legacy. Welcome to the story of Lin Dan and Chong Wei, the rivalry that didn't just define badminton, but quite literally saved it. The two kings, every epic needs its heroes, and in this story, we couldn't have asked for more perfect protagonists. They were opposites in almost every way imaginable, yet bound together by a shared destiny that would shape their lives and their sport. From China, Lin Dan, Super Dan. The name itself tells you everything. He wasn't just a player, he was a phenomenon. A left-handed powerhouse with explosive jumps, thunderous smashes, and a champion's aura that seemed to surround him like a force field. When Lin Dan walked onto the court, he didn't just believe he would win. He knew it. His confidence wasn't arrogance. It was the quiet certainty of someone who had rewritten what was possible in their sport. He played with a flair, a theatrical quality that made every match feel like a performance. The roar after a winning point, the military salute to the crowd. This was a champion who understood he wasn't just playing badminton, he was creating a legacy. And then there was Chong Wei from Malaysia. If Lin Dan was fire, Li was the wind, constant, relentless, impossible to contain. He carried something Lin never had to, the hopes of an entire nation. Malaysia had never won Olympic gold, and in Chong Wei, they saw their best chance, their brightest hope. His game was built on something different, not raw power, but impossible speed. Footwork so quick, he seemed to glide across the court. A retrieval game that defied physics, turning certain winners into breathtaking rallies. And perhaps most importantly, a resilience that became his trademark. Chong Wei wasn't just fighting Lin Dan, he was fighting history, fighting expectations, fighting for a place in the pantheon that seemed perpetually just out of reach. They represented different worlds. Lin Dan, the product of China's ruthless, systematic sports machine, trained from childhood, forged in the fires of national expectation. Chong Wei, who came from humble beginnings in Malaysia, whose journey felt more personal, more human. One played with the weight of maintaining a dynasty. The other played with the dream of creating one. The three Olympic wars, their rivalry spanned 40 matches over more than a decade. But 3 Olympic moments, 3 acts in their epic drama, defined everything. Beijing 2008 was the coronation. On home soil with the entire nation watching, Lin Dan didn't just beat Chong Wei. He made a statement that echoed across the sport. This wasn't a close match. It was a demonstration. Lin was faster, stronger, better in every aspect. For Li, standing on the podium with silver must have felt like a million miles from gold. In that moment, the narrative was set. The unbeatable champion and the eternal challenger. But what we didn't know then was that this defeat would become the fuel for everything that followed. London 2012 was something else entirely. This wasn't just a match. This was arguably the greatest badminton match ever played. For over an hour, these two men pushed each other beyond what anyone thought possible. Every point was a war. Every rally felt like it could decide everything. The tension in the arena was Physical. You could feel it even through television screens. When Lin Dan finally won that final point, when he fell to his knees in that mixture of exhaustion and ecstasy, something fundamental had changed. The scoreboard said Lin Dan won, but both men knew they had been part of something transcendent. And then came the moment that defined their relationship. The embrace at the net. Not a quick handshake, but a genuine, heartfelt embrace between warriors who recognized that they needed each other to reach these heights. London wasn't just a victory. It was the moment their rivalry became legend. Rio 2016 was the cruelest chapter. After years of falling to Lin on the biggest stage, Chong Wei finally did it. In the Olympic semifinal, he beat his nemesis. The celebration was pure, unadulterated joy. Not just for Li, but for millions watching who had followed his heartbreaking journey. This was it. The final obstacle overcome. The gold medal that had eluded him for so long was finally within reach. Except it wasn't. In the final, exhausted both physically and emotionally, Li fell to another Chinese player, Chen Long. The devastation was visible, palpable. In that moment, Chong Wei achieved something rare. He became more beloved in defeat than most athletes are in victory. His Olympic story was a tragedy, but it was a tragedy that made him human, that made his struggle our struggle. The saving of a sport. So why do we say this rivalry saved badminton? To understand that, you have to understand where the sport was before them. In the early 2000s, badminton was struggling for global relevance. It was popular in Asia, certainly, but in much of the world, it was seen as a backyard game, a recreational activity rather than a serious sport. The athleticism was incredible, the skill level astronomical. But something was missing. A story, a narrative that could capture the imagination of people who didn't know a drop shot from a drive. Lin Dan and Chong Wei gave badminton that story. This is Lin Dan versus Chong Wei. This is the rivalry that saved badminton. This is why we watch sports, for stories that stay with us long after the final point has been won. If you want more untold stories like this, check the description and sign up for the Beyond the Shuttle newsletter to go deeper into the stories that live beyond scores and medals. Some rivalries don't end when the match is over. They echo through history. And this one didn't just define two men, it saved badminton. Thanks for watching.